We wanted to be the Apple of Web3. I don't believe there was any other blockchain with such an innovation rate ever in the history of the blockchain. The big ones will have to transition into quantum safety. And we have the first solution for the first time. In my opinion, it was a leapfrog innovation. How can you solve this problem? You believe it's impossible, but it is possible. This is a big difference. The secret sauce that you get on Sui is...
I think, firstly, maybe like a brief intro of yourself would be great, because I think people know you obviously as the co-founder of Mysten Labs, but even even Facebook, for example, I know you came into the space very early. If you could talk about yourself in the background.
I can go very quickly. Yes. I have crypto in my blood, by the way. I'm in the space since the very early days, like 2009. I was very lucky to get my PhD pretty much this year when Bitcoin made it on cryptography. Which means that the cryptographer's life is otherwise you go to academia or maybe joining a secrecy like agency and all of this stuff. But Bitcoin came into my life from the very first days. That was one of the first holders of Bitcoin, and I was Maxi for a while. I was then an auditor on Ethereum after Ethereum made it, and I had the opportunity to work with some of the best engineers of Satoshi, like the original team. Created the Java library. Like Mike Khan was my manager in my previous place before I joined Facebook. And then when Mark Zuckerberg tried to create the Libra project, he invited a few cryptographers across the world. I was the one who was doing Ethereum and Bitcoin stuff, and then he invited me in Silicon Valley. So from the UK, originally Greek, France, UK, then in the US, we created Mysten after the Libra collapse. I was leading the cryptography of all of the Libra project, but also worked for a moment. During the collapse, I was trying to find some time at Facebook to do, and I did some WhatsApp payment stuff because WhatsApp also wanted to do, to use the Libra system for the internal payments, but you wanted some privacy. You don't want to have your financial information, of course.
Open public,
So I worked on all of these things. So I'm technically a white hat hacker. I broke a lot of contracts in my life. Some of them billion-dollar attacks, but I'm the good guy. I'm a white hat hacker. Yes. So this is who I am, and in Mysten now I'm doing all of the innovation around cool applications, cryptography, post-quantum, robotics and AI, anything that has to do with math. If it's math, it's typically me inside this team.
Great.
That's who I am, Kostas. And, I forgot something. Because crypto is part of my life, I also named my son Cryptos. So it's part of my family name now.
You've told that several times, I think. I've heard that before. I think before we dive into
you can write Python now.
I heard. No. I think before we dive into cryptography and stuff, Sui is seeing massive growth over the 2 years or so since mainnet, obviously. Reflecting back up until this point, what do you see the journey so far, reflecting back on it? And has there been any surprises? Did you imagine you'd be at this state in terms of the developer, the user?
That's a great question. So after you leave Facebook, a company that has 2 billion users, obviously you need to create something that has an equivalent mass adoption and all this stuff. Obviously we got it at the very beginning, it will take some time. You cannot, even if you want it, the whole population of Web3 is not that much anyway. So we cannot do the work only alone. You need the full spectrum of, there is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the Rolex of the blockchain and all this stuff. But you needed a better platform than Ethereum, because even myself, I could sense that, many attacks might happen on Ethereum. It can be a slower network. I want to create something faster. We wanted to be the Apple of Web3. And you know that because it's our motto, and we want to actually be there. We want to be the leaders. Now, we're pretty much on the market cap between 15 and 11 in the last, at least few months. Is this considered a good success for around 2 years? I don't stay on the prices, but I will stay on the innovation side. I don't believe there was any other blockchain with such an innovation rate ever in the history of the blockchain. So because we were 5 founders and all of us coming from the big companies in Silicon Valley, we knew how to innovate. We knew how to bring some new fresh blood into the system, and I think we succeeded on that stuff. We have some things that never existed. For example, sub-second finality, and at the same time being a robust network. We had very, very rare incidents, and at the same time 400 milliseconds for deterministic finality. it's unheard of. Like even Solana, like on deterministic bridges, they can only do 13 seconds because you need to wait for a few blocks to make it. While Sui, it's like deterministic on the finalization of the block, like literally less than half a second, which is crazy. Now you can do. That's why on DeFi we're very good. On DeFi, I'm generally happy in the sense that people trust a platform that was created by former Facebook employees along with other people from Google and Netflix and Microsoft. And the company has this culture of innovation from Silicon Valley that I think we managed to pass it to the world. Otherwise, you would see us in lower places, right? So this innovation and the success on DeFi, and also the fact that some industries like gaming and I don't know, maybe a few others around, even institutions, the Greek stock market was the first stock market that made it to the blockchain, gave us an extra bit of robustness and credibility. This is where we win. If you go to the average country right now and they tell you, we want to build, I don't know, the land registry or something new, you typically want to be in a place where you want to ensure that the team behind it has built already something. They can achieve the same thing again and again, and it's not just a random star, and they will get out of the equation the next year.
Nice.
We're very tight between ourselves, and the team itself is giving, in my opinion, this robustness that you need to build core infrastructure.
Right.
On that sense, I believe we succeeded. I want us to eventually be in the top 10.
Yes.
If you're asking me, because this is also a signal of acceptance that the innovation is something that matters to people.
Right. Yes.
Right. We have all of the cool ideas. You've seen a few things today. Some of this nobody has done before. We have a feeling that, look, you have to take a few bets in different sectors, and that's how you succeed. And because we're the leaders on many of them, I believe one of them eventually will make the burst, and we will make it.
Right.
You need to achieve double of what you are doing at the moment to make it to the top 10.
Right. Well, I do hear great feedback though from builders, in terms of the developer experience and also the user experience. Something like ZK login, obviously,
yes, exactly,
which is unique, and obviously you don't have to have your.
You need it. You're right. You're right. And I forgot to mention the fact that the CTO of Mysten Labs, who created the Move language,
Sam, actually. Yeah.
Sam, right? Sam was the person that I met at Facebook. Pretty much, he was the first one because we met in a conference before I joined Facebook, and then I realized he was the youngest being promoted at these highest levels of leadership at Facebook. And I was so surprised working with this person from the very beginning at Facebook. And then he wants to make the developer experience pretty much not a luxury as it was before.
Right.
You want everybody to be able to write a Web3 program. And this is how you're making Move to have the roots from Rust, because Rust is the inspiration language of Move that is as safe as Rust, but now for decentralized world.
Yes.
And I think we succeeded on this, but it's not only the language itself. We personally go to hackathons. I personally go and help on designs. This is how you're bringing developers inside.
Right.
User experience is a thing. That's how we created ZK login.
Yes.
The first zero knowledge login with Google and Facebook without third parties. You're not locked in a vendor like Magic Wallet and a few others. Everybody can build it. At the same time, this helped to have 8 million users on the Slash wallet that we have at the moment, which is quite a big number.
Yeah.
But you need to go there. I personally go and code along with the teams, and I participate in hackathons. We won even another global hackathon from Bybit, and I was part of the development team. I also code, and Sam is coding, and George is coding, and we're writing designs, and this is very rare for a founding team. This is where I believe we win.
Yes. I mean, you can see the passion, obviously, whenever I talk about obviously at a niche, it's the focus there to innovate and continue.
Do you know what is the thing with Adeniji? I have to stop him not to do spoilers on my ideas.
Yeah, well, I think that's a common thing. Yes, it's supposed to. I think he's getting stopped by the foundation to not spill the alpha.
He's getting excited because I'm telling you, every week there is a new innovation in Mysten Labs, and I'm not kidding. Every week, it was 2 weeks, and now we're growing the team, and it's now 1 week, and you don't know what to do with all of these cool ideas that are coming from the team.
Yes, right.
So you have to find a good cadence now on how to announce it. And Adeniji obviously is getting excited. And the problem is Adeniji is also part of the founding team. He says something and then we have to implement it. You cannot wait now. Because there is a big difference with Mysten that it's not only promises. We have proof of concepts on everything.
And you deliver.
Yeah, and we deliver. He knows that. That's why he's like that.
No. Let's talk cryptography.
Of course.
Like looking at the next 10 years, how do you think it will change how blockchains operate and like
it's very simple. Almost all of them, the big ones, will have to transition into quantum safety.
Yes, right.
There is a reason, not because I believe the quantum computer will come tomorrow and break Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything, right? The reason is the agencies like NSA, NIST, and ENISA in Europe, some others in Asia, in Australia, and so on, they try to foresee the future, and they propose that by 2030 to 2035, if you want to interact with the government or some like public sector entities, you need to have a post-quantum solution.
Yes.
Post-quantum means an algorithm that is not written with quantum computers, but can withstand quantum computer attacks. This is what we need, because the quantum computers, even if they arrive, it will not come to your home. It will be operated by states, or like big agencies and so on. So what is the problem with that? The problem is there are a few addresses that are sitting there. Imagine Satoshi addresses on Bitcoin. That if someone gets access on this, they can affect the liquidity, all of the like volatility, like some burnt money that we thought are actually not burnt. And this will cause like a huge spikes on the pricing, and it will create a very like strange feeling of the blockchain is not secure. So we have to act faster, not because we don't know if the quantum supremacy will come, but if there is a potential that one day it will happen, you have to be protected, like you have to be prepared. Otherwise, all of the system will collapse. We're the top blockchain, in my opinion, that we identified also a solution a month ago about backwards compatible quantum. Why this is important? Because you can protect the users from now on. But what do you do for the user that already have an account? And some of them are validators. There might be HSMs, like hardware secure modules in some custodians in some exchanges. All of them, they cannot in one day transfer all of the transactions into new addresses and all of this stuff. And in some situations, people have passed away. There are situations where people have lost their keys. There are situations like Satoshi that we don't know what's their state. They are calling them sleeping addresses. How do you protect against sleeping addresses? And this is a significant amount. It's not like 1% of all of the Suis, all of the Bitcoins and so on. And we have the first solution for the first time, also being accepted in one of the biggest conferences in the world, ACM CCS, Computer and Communication Security, that in my opinion, it was a leapfrog innovation in the last decade that we have as like cryptography research. So we are in the front line at the moment, and the innovations that you will see from Sui will help other blockchains as well. Because what we invented can also be used in Solana, it can be used in other blockchains in Near, and some others that are using the same algorithm with us. So I feel in 10 years, most of the blockchains will go quantum. The other things that will improve is zero knowledge. You will see a lot of privacy preserving algorithms, as long as all of the whatever is Trump doing now and all of the other countries are following, the institutions are coming, they will want privacy. And the privacy has to go two sides. You have to protect both against regulation that wants to have like transparency, but also regulation that wants to provide privacy, GDPR related regulations, privacy for their users. So we have to build better systems, and for this you need people coming from Stanford, Cornell, and the big universities. And this is where Sui shines. We have these people. Which is very, very difficult for a small startup or a company that doesn't have like people who were in academia and they know exactly what is the top trends in cryptography to implement this stuff. And that's why you see us implementing the new walrus, like the storage layer, the data availability layer. You see us implementing Seal and Nautilus. So Sui is the heart of the system, the CPU, but you need someone like us to implement the new cryptographic primitives on top of this. And then we give it away for free to the community. Not only Sui, everybody can get a benefit.
Just going back on quantum though, you said Solana, Near, they might be compatible. I remember the post.
With my algorithm.
With your algorithm.
But
I recall in that post you said Bitcoin and Ethereum are not compatible. Can you explain why?
Okay, that's very interesting. So today's cryptography on blockchains, at least all of the top blockchains in the market cap at the moment, are based on an algorithm called ECDSA or EDDSA. These are the two major algorithms. What we found can only be applied on EDDSA, but the older blockchains are using ECDSA. So on ECDSA blockchains, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum at the moment, and all of the L2s on top of them, cannot use my algorithm. they can do something, like they can take parts of my algorithm to do, but they cannot be like holistic. On EDDSA blockchains, holistically, you can protect all of the accounts that have been created before you press the button. Right. Even the older accounts, the sleeping accounts, the accounts that will never wake up because the people who own them are, their wallets were seized or they passed away or they lost the key.
Right.
So this is the benefit. The backwards compatible quantum readiness was introduced to the cryptographic algorithms in the world by Sui team. That's the concept, and we're going to implement it for us, but also other blockchains will take advantage. We don't know yet what we're going to do for Ethereum and Bitcoin, but Vitalik as well on Ethereum mentioned after, because this solution that I'm mentioning here, I gave some hints on Twitter many years ago. Right? So you can do a few things about mnemonic users, but it's not completed. It's quite complicated.
Right.
But our solution is by far more natural.
No, great.
Yeah. So prefer EDDSA compared to ECDSA.
Right. Yeah. Technical, but great.
1D makes difference.
So you have a very hardware focus at the moment in terms of robotics. Why and what's the end goal?
Exactly. The actual question is why Sui? Yeah?
Yes.
There are many reasons. Everybody can actually go, and Solana actually tried to do a few things with robots. In my opinion, they didn't focus a lot on the actual implementation and SDKs and helping their developers to do this stuff.
Right.
But Sui came with extra features, and that's the thing. The fact that we have internetless communication, we managed to find ways, even like if you have some like wavelength that you can send instead of the internet, you can have two devices to communicate together. Now you can create swarms that they can talk together, and this swarm communication can eventually reach the blockchain and so on. We managed to send transactions by SMS. We managed to send transactions by even like AM, FM radio with sound, underwater sound, and all of this stuff.
Right.
And then we realized, wow, this thing might be super helpful if you want to drive, to be a pilot in a drone. This is super important if you want to have RC races with your Sui wallet. And then eventually this, along with the ZK tunnels, that you can have an off-chain communication completely, allows the robots to have a gasless or very cheap communication and super fast. The fact that Sui is also 400 milliseconds finality helps a lot, that with 400 seconds, you can obviously have a submarine or have a car that you can, like an RC car that you can drive it. It's still drivable. You couldn't do this with Ethereum or other things that might need a lot more than a second because it will be very slow, very sluggish, and so on. But there are also games. Don't forget about games. There is Pokemon Go and other things. But there might be robots now in the streets.
Nice.
That for the first time we can create a CPU, because we did $3 CPUs that people can buy. We can have the SDK of Sui, and now they can communicate with the Sui network.
Nice.
And that's why you see coffee machines. You can see dogs. You can see humanoids. You can see RC cars, you can see drones, you can see many things that are now connected to the Sui network. The plan is to create an SDK. That's how you help developers. It's not only the new features that you need also to make the job for developers by far easier. And this is where we have the Move language itself that has also objects, and the objects are the thing that Web2 developers are familiar with. Right? It's as if you're writing Java now.
Right.
And now I have a robot that has an arm, and this arm is an object NFT on Sui. It's not a random thing. And this arm can be extended with an extra thing over the arm, and so on and so on and so on. And that's how we managed to make the robotics being fast, being more like easier to write code for robots. And we even created an application very recently that some of the move calls are converted into Linux commands. And you can now control a CPU, a real CPU by your Linux, by your Sui wallet, which means that you can run a server, and the command like tool is your Sui wallet. You're signing every command into the like the processor inside the robot, so you can go with your kids, your partner, your friends, and you say you have access for 10 minutes in this drone, this robot, and this guy has only after 2 minutes will have access only for 1 minute, and this guy has a lot of limitations on how they're writing this robot. Seal and Walrus was super helpful on this, because now we can have the big data of the robots being written back to the blockchain, and you can even sell this data.
Yes.
So this combination of having all of the toolset around this was not happening before by any other blockchain, plus the fact that Move itself is helpful for object-oriented programming. All of this made Sui a better environment for robots, and that's why you see Sui being a lot better than anybody else at the moment for robotics.
Right. Thank you. I think moving on to like the last question now, I think there's like a very heavy focus of Sui Foundation to get like more builders on board, obviously. If you were not working at Mysten Labs per se, and if you're a builder on Sui, what would you build that can only be built on Sui that has the potential to gain 1 billion users?
100%. People should use the hidden gems on Sui that are some features that are not utilized properly, overlooked at the moment.
Right.
Why? Because if you have a startup, you're looking for these like particular innovations that nobody else has, even if they are on different blockchains.
Right.
One of them is randomness.
Right.
Sui is the top blockchain, as I explained before, that in the market cap has a native randomness inside it. With a single transaction, you can have randomness in your smart contract, which means that if someone is in the gaming sector or gambling sector, you don't even need an oracle now. You don't need to pay someone else, a third party, for your randomness. You can work directly natively into Sui. And this is 400 millisecond randomness, and it's a single transaction randomness, which is not easy with oracles. That means that you can have a slot machine directly on Sui. You can have a poker game. You can have an actual like real game that requires randomness on every step that you are moving into the space. That you need to have verifiable randomness, even if you are running a lottery, even if you are running AI and you want verifiable AI and you need a unique ID every single time that you know it cannot be like predicted by some attacker. Because when you're asking ChatGPT, right, 10 times you're asking, it will give you 10 different answers. How do you know that something was asked only once?
Right.
You have to include some random ID, some randomness, and this is what Sui can offer.
Right.
The other things that you can do is use Nautilus and Seal and Walrus at the moment, because no other blockchain has all of these tool sets together.
Yes. That
you can have programmable access on data. AI is coming, and I would personally try to figure out how to combine at least these 4 tools: Sui, Walrus, Nautilus, and Seal, to make this dance with all of these 4 together as a unique product. Like you can create a DocuSign. Why nobody is creating a DocuSign on Sui? It's easy now. You can do it. And this is the first decentralized DocuSign that you can have. The other thing is, in my opinion, robotics, and you will see a few restaurants, in my opinion, that are going to use Sui for programmable access on the waiters that are robots. It will happen. So robotics here is a new place that is opening, a new door that we open to the world that is now functional. It's not like the Solana random experiments. Now you can see there is a dedicated team that is doing robotics inside Mysten. So you can get the extra help. If I was a developer, by the way, and I knew how Mysten is working and helping people, I would call and participate in hackathons. Because I personally go to hackathons.
Yes.
And this is very interesting because you cannot find like leadership from many other blockchains that they're on stage, helping the developers, themselves actually paying all of this like extra effort to do this stuff.
And direct feedback. Yes.
It's only us.
Yes.
I'm traveling more than sometimes when I was like a teenager. And I want inspiration. I even participate in hackathons by myself, in global hackathons now, not in Sui, but in global hackathons. I won the Bybit hackathon last year in Dubai.
Right.
Yeah, with a solution that you can recover your account even if you lose your private key. How can you solve this problem? You believe it's impossible, but it is possible.
Right.
You just need to get with some cryptographers together, and your startup will get an extra benefit that you don't get it in Solana, Ethereum, or Aptos or other places. This is a big difference. The secret sauce that you get on Sui is you have extra solution engineering help that you wouldn't find anywhere else in the planet. Because we had people from Silicon Valley, we had people across the world with very special knowledge. That as a startup, you need millions to get it, and they will not come.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well.
Thank you for your time, Kostas.